maybe a person on the zip line. That is a hot no.
Hey everybody, this is Brent and welcome to Brent's Crossroads. Our next stop on our port tours from my NCL Bliss Alaskan tour is going to be Icy Strait Point in Hoonah, Alaska. And you'll be able to check out stuff about the port, maps, restaurants, shops, history at icystraightpoint.com. One thing about it, we saw that zip rider. It is the world's largest zip rider, and it has 6 lines that are 5,330 feet long, dropping a whopping 1,330 feet from the top of the mountain. And like I said, that is a hot no. Now, as you noticed, there's us making this long walk, while the other ship in port with us, the Norwegian Joy, was docked right at the Icy Strait Point pier. So here we are. Over here is a gift shop there on the left. Straight ahead, this is where you get on the Skyliner. Over to the right, that is where you will take the trailhead if you want to take the trail over. And then here's where you meet for excursions, or buy your excursions, whichever you want to do. All right, so let's hop on the transporter and let's head over to the historic cannery area of Icy Strait Point. Let's enjoy a little bit of a ride. I will see you on the other side. Okay, just kidding. All right, a little bit of history about the area. The first salmon cannery was built in Icy Strait Point in 1912 by the Hoonah Packing Company, and it was bought in the mid-90s by the Hoonah Totem Company, and they created Icy Strait Point as it is today, just pretty much a straight tourism site. And the thing I liked about it is, if you shop locally here at Icy Strait Point or do any of the activities, it supports locals. 85% of the staff that work here and own the shops and everything are from the Kinglet tribes. So the money that's there, it's like it helps them, because like I said, they only have a small window of time to make their money. So now I've kind of sped this up. It doesn't really go this fast, but it would be outstandingly fun if it did. There's a ropes course that you can do. Didn't see anybody on it. I don't know if it just wasn't the season for it or they weren't offering them at the time. But this is another hot no. Here below on the right, you'll see that trail. This is if you walk the trail to get to Icy Strait Point from the port, that's where it comes out at.
Welcome to Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort.
With additional services on Disney Riviera.
And Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Hi, morning.
Hello.
Watch outside, please. Have a good day.
And later on when you come back, this is the queue area to get back, and it is going to be full whenever you go to get back. So if you take this road to the left over here, that will take you to the historic cannery area, which is where a lot of the restaurants and shopping are at. But in case you don't feel like making the short walk over to there, it's about a 5-minute walk. You can stay over here to the right. There's restrooms. There is the Duck Point Smokehouse and the Duck Point Bar, and of course your gift shop. And oh look, it's Norwegian Joy. They didn't have to take any kind of transport to get to the port. And one point about Icy Strait Point is it is a smoke-free area. You're not supposed to smoke anywhere.
Truck traffic.
And here's this really nice orca statue that that Norwegian Cruise Lines built and gave to the area. It doesn't seem crowded now because we got there early, but later on, this area really fills up. This pathway gets full. Lots of people over here by the statue. It's one of those things. If you want to have a better time and easier time checking things out and exploring, it's easier to get off the boat first thing and beat a lot of the crowds. You know, I couldn't resist looking at the cemetery. That's just me. The Cookhouse restaurant's a very popular restaurant. It wasn't open whenever we were there. It didn't open by the time we left the Icy Strait Point area to head back to the dock. It's a nice peaceful area. I really like listening to the waves because I've been jonesing a Caribbean cruise. And here's the old cannery, which they've turned into shops, and there's a museum and a restaurant. Okay, don't be that traveler. These people stood right in front of the map, blocked everybody else's view, and just stood there. Look, this dude kind of looks like, oh, are we in the way? All right, I'm just going to go back to my conversation and block everybody's view. And I think this chick kind of felt like everybody was staring at him because she kind of turned around and was like, oh, were we blocking everybody's view? Yeah, don't be that traveler. Nice little museum area before you get into the shop. And like I said, a lot of this stuff there's some artisan stuff made by local artists. 85% of the people that work here are local. So if this was one place to keep your money to shop at, if it's later on and when your port stops, keep some of your money back to spend here at Icy Strait Point to support the locals. Same thing with some of the Creek Street shops in Ketchikan.
Oh, there's an HHN house in here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking a non-IP house at Halloween Horror Nights in either Hollywood or Orlando would be a cannery being used to can humans. That would be a fantastic house. But anyway, here's the crab house. And their specialty is that Bloody Mary, which is like a Bloody Mary with a crab leg in it. Then over here, those two double doors, that is the bathroom. And you see this little building here to the left with the big white sign? That is the place where you get the mini donuts. And this was the one thing that I'd seen in lots of videos and lots of people talk about. No Ford truck traffic. Are you kidding me? As a Ford truck certified person, I can't believe this. Yeah, they had 36 flavors of the donuts, and I wanted to try a bunch, but for every dozen, you either had to get six of one and 6 of another, or 12 of the whole thing. You couldn't get like 12 different ones. You had to get half a dozen or a full dozen of a flavor. So we only got to try 2 flavors. We tried the sea salt caramel and the huckleberry. They were fantastic. Highly recommend getting the mini doughnuts. Get there early. They weren't opened up before we left, or they weren't open when we got there, and so we waited in line right before they opened. And then whenever they opened up, it got to be a pretty big line. And there's the trail you can walk. That's 1.6 miles to go to downtown Hoonah, Alaska. Or there's a booth over here that you can get a transport that'll take you the 6-minute drive. And I was also kind of laughing about, oh, look, it's just like, your drunk uncle's front yard. And we're like boats up on blocks instead of Buicks. And it kind of went with the rusted metal salmon sculptures. This is kind of like their pink flamingo. And here's a side view of the bathrooms. Plenty of restrooms in this area. So here's another section of shops, which part of it features, I said how this helps locals. The Hoonah High School kids do artwork and they sell it in the store that's in here. And then they use it to raise funds for things for the school. So it's just another one of those instances where the money that you spend there stays there. At this point, there was more and more people, so the boardwalk, the way that we walked there, the wood path, was pretty full, so we walked that beach path and tried not to get picked up by a bird of prey as it flew overhead. I was afraid we were going to carry off little old me. But instead, really, they were just looking for fish here on the shore to have a snack on. And it was really peaceful and serene. I sat down for a few minutes, kind of relaxed. And, wished I was on the boat that was closer. Like I did in every port. Because the Bliss has forsaken me. All right, so here we are, the Duck Point Smokehouse. What did I think?
All right. I'm gonna try the reindeer chili. Oh my god, that's messy. Tastes like chili. Another thing we're trying here in Alaska, here in Icy Strait Point, is the halibut pizza. I'm not a big fan of anchovies on the pizza, so I never thought I'd be willingly eating a fish on a pizza. Chili's good, by the way.
Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't gamey.
Not bad. Crust is good and crispy. Fish isn't bad. The ranch dill sauce they use for the sauce is pretty good. The onions don't overpower it. I actually like the chili better though. Chili is delicious. So if you're ever in Icy Strait Point, come to the Duck Inn or the Duck Smokehouse. Highly recommended.
All right, and when I said this was a no smoking area, here's these people. Don't be that traveler who are sitting here openly smoking, defying the no smoking order. Don't be that traveler.
So yeah, apparently half the cruise ship is on this excursion.
And that was the main reason we
It's gonna
didn't
be
go to
really hard to
downtown
actually see a
Hoonah, is
whale
because we
whenever
had
there's
booked this
gonna be a big
excursion for the
mess of
last half of
humanity inside of the
the
boats.
port day. And yeah, it was
Godspeed
a
and
lot
good
of
luck.
people. And then we ended up on 2 different boats. So now as we're out watching some whales, I'm gonna sit back, keep my comments to a minimum, and let's just enjoy the ride and enjoy these cool beasts of nature.
Whale that we see. So I'm gonna go ahead and just click ticket. We're gonna open the doors to go on the bow.
Are they coming to us? I didn't see them coming.
They started off kind of shy at first. A lot of spouting going on. And eventually we'd start getting some tails. And one of them decided to like half kind of flop out of the water. He wasn't like full breach, but kind of breached. So kind of put on a show. I think I was actually more surprised by how close to the shoreline they were.
Yeah, that's good. 拍到了吗？那个 tail。 我给你换一个好吗？
So I'm trying to decide if I want to do a video of just all my footage from the whale watching. If you'd be interested in something like that, just let me know in the comments. Like, here's an otter friend, and just made me think of one of my favorite Goth Sickles songs, Straight Up Otter Time. So if you ever catch the Goth Sickles, they're great. Check out Straight Out Otter Time. And then we came across a buoy of seals who were just hanging out, hoping they weren't going to become orca lunch. Overall, I would say while we watch our little seal friends here, I liked Icy Strait Point. Like, I've liked all the stops. I felt like I did everything I wanted to in Icy Strait Point, did the whale watching, Did an extensive tour of the Icy Strait Point area, shopped. Next time, I would like to go back and do a trip over to downtown Hoonah. But if you get a chance, said support the locals. And I hope if you're in Alaska, you take a stop at Icy Strait Point. Like I said, it's pretty much a port area. It's built up specifically to be like a port area, like in the Caribbean, like almost a private island. Like, so I want to thank you all for coming along with me as we check out my adventures on the Bliss. And I'll meet you out the Crossroads. Goodbye.